So we've got a cruise line out there cracking down saying, look, cruiser, you got to do what you say you're going to do or we're going to charge you money. And then we have another cruise line saying, I know we said we were going to do something, but we're no longer going to do that. Is that cool? That's pretty par for the course for cruising. Yeah, that plus a lot more on today's episode. Let's go.
The cruise show, Tony be on deck, keeping you in the know. You are in the place for everything going on and cruising for your face. It's the cruise show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido Loco. Welcome to the cruise show. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. And let's start over there with Royal Caribbean. They have announced a new policy, sent some emails out to travel agents saying that, look, if you have any guests that are booking specialty dining, let them know. Let them know that if they skip their specialty dining reservation, if they no-show that thing, they're going to get charged. That's right. Going to get penalized for not showing up for dinner. Look, I guess that's an okay policy. The spaces are limited in specialty dining restaurants. You can't have everybody putting their name down on a reservation sheet willy-nilly and then, blowing it off like it's a dinner with your in-laws. Royal said enough's enough. If you put your name down on the reservation sheet, you got to show up or we're going to charge you. Now, interestingly, I wonder if they charge you and then they still let somebody else take your seat. Little double dipping on the money. I bet you that happens. Why wouldn't you? If you say somebody doesn't show up for a two-top and you charge them for, missing their reservation and then somebody walks up and says, hey, we got a party of two. Why wouldn't you sit them down and get double the money? It's going to be okay, I think. I think this will help people be thoughtful about whether or not they're booking specialty dining, and that way they're not throwing the money away. Other cruise lines do this. There's cancellation policies that you have to follow or you could lose money. There are a couple exemptions to this Royal Caribbean policy. If you have the dining package, you can just skip as many meals as you want. You can just book the whole ship up, taking spaces for somebody else, and you can no-show it because, heck, you paid for the dining package, and I guess that's one of the perks. And then if you are a Star Suite guest, what are we saying? The Suite Life people, you can just be like, psh, I know I booked some stuff, but look, I got money. I'm a sweet guy. I'm not just going to show up for dinner. But that's the way it works sometimes in cruising. Do as I say and not as I do. I'm looking directly at you, Carnival Cruise Line. Did you hear about the grand opening of the Celebration Key? A Celebration Key, if you look at this rendering here, two big lagoons. And when it opened, one of the lagoons was designated for families, and the other lagoon was designated for people that were 18 plus. And we heard pretty early on that maybe they weren't really enforcing very strictly the 18 plus side of the lagoon. And I don't know. Now it's not going to be 18 plus. The lagoon in question is called Calypso Lagoon, and Carnival has made an announcement starting on September the 6th. They're lowering the age requirement for Calypso Lagoon from 18 plus to 13. That's right. Let those prepubescent hormonic teenagers in. So that because teenagers are perfectly well behaved, I'm sure if you're an adult trying to enjoy the Calypso Lagoon, a bunch of teens rolling in is not going to be a problem. But look, all is not lost. Do not despair, friends. Do not despair out there. If you're an adult who loves a little kid-free zone and you thought maybe you would have it in the big Calypso Lagoon, there still is an option for you. You can pay to go to the Pearl Cove Beach Club. That is for right now, at least, if you pay the money, there's not going to be any teenagers in there or smaller children. It's all going to be 18 plus. Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness they took away the included option that had the no teenagers and gave us, a reminder about the for-pay option. Thank you. That's let me make sure where's my wallet? Two stories of do as I say, not as I do. And talking about somebody trying to do something that they've never done before. Look at this rendering right here. Celebrity Cruises. They got their big people pants on, and they've decided that they're going to be entering into the river cruise business. River cruise business dominated by names that we know: Viking, Ama Waterways. Okay, those are the only two names that I know. But Celebrity, they're going to throw their hat in there. This was announced a while ago, but now we're starting to see some of the renderings of the ship. And as you would expect, you've got some beautiful looking renderings here. I think it's a smart move, right? Because if you think about this, and I think about this from time to time, cruising can become a progression to bigger and better things when it comes to cruising. And I'm not talking about ship size. You know, you've got the mass market cruise lines, your Carnivals, your Royals, your Norwegian Cruise Line, your MSC. To me, that feels like the entryway into cruising, and that's primarily ocean cruising. And then people maybe get a little taste for the finer life. They want a little PBR. What is the highlight? They get a little taste for the finer life, a little champagne taste, and they want to go up. So maybe you go up to a Princess. Maybe you go up to, a Celebrity. Maybe you go up to the next level. But then maybe the ultimate level is the river cruise. River cruise is super expensive. There's, it's high luxury most of the time. There's not a lot of people on those cruise ships. I feel like Celebrity noticed an opportunity, and certainly now they're seizing on it. How do we get people off of our Celebrity ocean vessels and put them on a river ship? Viking did it in reverse. Viking had the river ships first, the river boats first, and then they brought them on to Viking ocean vessels. The names of the new Celebrity river boats are the Celebrity Compass and the Celebrity Seeker. And today's the big day, September the 3rd. The pre-sale is going on. People that have been given early access to purchase the spaces on the Celebrity river cruise ships. And I'm already seeing articles out there that those sales are going well, that it wouldn't be surprising if those sold out. Now, you guys want to talk a little bit of legal, juicy courtroom drama? I think Cardi B was acquitted yesterday. I think that's not what I want to talk about. We have a cruise line organization suing a state. The Cruise Line International Association, CLIA, has filed a lawsuit against the state of Hawaii over a new cruise tax. This is a cruise tax that will go into effect next year. Hawaii is trying to raise some more money. They realize that you have all these tourists coming, both by air and by land and two by sea, and you got the cruise ships coming in. They've put a new transit accommodation tax on people coming in on the cruise ships. And CLIA said this isn't right. We already have agreements with Hawaii to bring cruise passengers there, and you are just adding on an extra tax that we did not plan on. It's interesting when these new taxes come into the cruise space, because a lot of times cruise lines have already booked their sailings out for 2026. And now all of a sudden these cruise lines are going to be hit with these new taxes. How do they extract that tax money from the people? Sometimes it happens on board as a service charge, but that doesn't leave a good taste in the cruiser's mouth. So certainly that's why you see this legal action laid forth by CLIA. The filing of this lawsuit, of course, just the initial salvo in this battle between Hawaiian lawmakers and the cruise industry. And now we'll have to wait for Judge Judy to weigh in and see what's going to happen. Will the tax be upheld, or will the cruises get to keep going to Hawaii for the same price that they're currently doing it? Check out this picture right here. That's a new cruise ship floating around the world. That is the latest cruise ship from Virgin Voyages, the Brilliant Lady, and she's made her first appearance in New York City. She arrived in New York City yesterday. This is the fourth ship in Virgin Voyages fleet. And the plan for that cruise ship right now is to do cruises from New York, start accepting paying passengers, New York to Bermuda, New York up the coast into Canada, the fall foliage, the fall leaves type cruises. Virgin Voyages, it was questionable coming out of the shutdown whether they would be viable. But certainly they seem to be. They have a unique product, and now they have a fourth cruise ship servicing paying passengers. I do want to give a quick correction to a story I was talking about yesterday. I was talking about the Disney Adventure doing its sea trials, and that is true. The Disney Adventure doing its sea trials, but I got it confused with the Disney Destiny. The Disney Destiny is the new cruise ship that will have Spider-Man on the back. The Disney Adventure is the cruise ship that was bought out of bankruptcy, one of these large mega cruise ships that will be sailing around Asia. The Adventure is doing its sea trials. And I guess just the update on the Disney Destiny is that ship has had its float out, which is a milestone in the shipbuilding process. That Disney Destiny set to debut later on this year, November of 2025. And that's it. Thanks for checking out the show today. Subscribe for more. This is Tony for La Lido Loco. Till the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.